Hey, how you guys doing? Making another video. Apparently people think something happened to me because I haven't uploaded in a while. Because I went MIA, or kind of went MIA. Yeah, I've had like people at various DCs between Shelby and Pageland. They'll be like, "Hey, aren't you the dude from YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and yeah, I am. And they'll be like, "You haven't uploaded in a while. Like, is everything okay? Like, is something wrong?" I'm like, "Nope, nothing's wrong. I'm good." They're like, "You sure? It's been a while." I'm just like, "Just been working, just been living life, whatnot. Nothing crazy." So, yeah. And I've had people in the comment sections be like, "You've been MIA. Like, no uploads. Everything okay?" So, sorry if this spot on my shirt drives you guys up a wall. By the way, I just had some sushi and it's I spilled some soy sauce on my shirt. Probably shouldn't have worn a white shirt out to get dinner. But anyway, I digress. So, but yeah, no, everything's been going fine. Been working, living life, doing my thing. So I guess I will do a little quick update. I'm not running out of Monroe anymore. They changed. I guess Monroe doesn't need help with meat and produce anymore. So I went over to Pageland, South Carolina, and was running out of there for a little minute. And running out of Pageland, South Carolina is so incredibly different than running out of Monroe. Running out of Monroe, you're probably going to have like 80% of the time I was running like interstate, going to the stores up and down, 85 between the northern Georgia side and the earlier parts of the beginning parts of South Carolina. And I was running some down to like Savannah, Georgia, and just that region of the Southeast. And yeah, I was loving it. And I started doing the grocery thing out of Pageland, and Pageland operates so very different. Like, one, you're running majority back roads. So I'd say probably about 80% of the time, 85% of the time, I was running, like, my routes were entirely back roads. Or if I did hit the interstate out of like a 300-mile run, it would be like 10 miles of interstate. It sucked doing that. Because you're running at, and their times are very different too. They push the loads out around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's a window of time around that time frame, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In the surrounding hours, they start like pushing their loads out to the stores. So what ended up happening is you get to the stores, and I started noticing they're having an issue. Like, they're just like, you're meat and produce. I'm like, yep. And they're just like, you're getting here real early. Like, we don't normally expect you guys to like the middle of the night. And I'm just like, I'm just running the load that the time the time Pageland gave me. And like, I'm sorry if it's inconveniencing you. I'm getting here, like, they give me the load, I do my trip planning, I make sure everything's good to go, and I'm out the gate, I'm on my way to the store, and yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry if it's an inconvenience to you guys, like, nothing I can really do about it. So yeah, get to the stores, which, they would unload you in I don't want to say a timely manner, but basically as fast as they feel like doing, whenever you get to the stores. So yeah, and on top of that, Pageland, they just did not want to like run you that well. Monroe, like, I would wake up after my 10-hour break. I would wake up like probably like 20 or so minutes before my 10 hours was up, so I could get ready and whatnot. And I'd you can look at your in transit and see like, your work that you have assigned to you. And they'd have like an entire night's worth of work. So it was great because, there wasn't like guessing, what am I going to do, blah, blah, blah. Like, you'd wake up and it'd have like, at probably about 2 or so trips on you, 2 or 3 trips, enough for you to really make very good use of your 14 and make it back to the DC. Like, they had the planning done perfectly. It was awesome. Pageland, no. They give you like a trailer to do, and then you get back, and then like you're like, hey, I have like 5 hours left in my 14, what else you got for me? And they just look at you like, how dare you ask for more work? And it was like pulling teeth to try to get more than one trailer a night, or should I say one trailer per 14-hour span. And it was getting to the point where like I'd get back with like 4, 5, 6 hours left of my 14, and I'd be like, all right, let me get a load. And then they would give me like a little egg run, which any Walmart driver that's worked out of Pageland and has done the egg run, you know what I'm talking about. You get the little egg run, you go to the little egg farm, drop off the trailer, grab the loaded one, and then come back. And it's like 50 miles round trip, and it takes all maybe like an hour and 20 minutes, if that, somewhere around that time, because, you know, whatever. But yeah, and then like you stop your clock and you have like 3 or 4 hours left on your 14 and you're just done. Yeah, it wasn't that good running out of there. After I got like I got 2 paychecks running out of Pageland. And of course, like I explained to you guys, running out of Monroe, you got that pay differential. Well, doing the same thing, but out of Pageland, you still get the same pay differential. And it was just like, my paycheck was the same as what a regular paycheck would be like. So my paycheck was like $2,400 because we get paid bi-weekly. So my paycheck was like $2,400, and I'm just like, I come to work. Given that basically I had a 7 to 14 cent per mile pay increase plus you know, other incentives, that should say something. You know, hey, like your paycheck with all the incentives is the same as if you weren't doing meat and produce and you're just running regular runs, you know, letting your home office and the Rock dispatch you and whatnot. So I'm just like, I was like, y'all gotta take me off of this. They're like, well, what's the problem? I'm just like, there's no real point in me doing meat and produce. You know, somebody else might look at it and be like, dude, you're getting, you know, the same amount of pay and you're not even working as much. Me personally, it did something to me to finish my work week, and I see like 20 hours left over on my 70, and I'm just like, that's 20 hours of potential earnings I could have made that just was not put on me because they just don't plan properly out of Pageland. So I'm just like, you know what? I said, I'm just gonna put me back over on regular loads. You know, I'll go back to my regular pay rate and go from there, because I have the ability to, you know, probably work even harder. Actually, not probably, do work even harder, because they're going to run you as hard as you want to be ran. So, you know, we'll see. We have bids coming up soon. Actually, I put mine in. I put mine in for all the people always asking, you know. I see anybody that's also my friend on Facebook. If you haven't seen me post in a while, I'm in Facebook jail. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I can get on Facebook. So, let's see. So, basically, this is, I guess, to the actual Walmart drivers that follow me. Y'all know how we bid for our days that we want to work, or the different programs that they have. So we just put in for, I'm not sure when the last day is. I don't know. I already put in my bid. I'm not a last second kind of guy. So I put in my bid. My number one option was to try to get on the 6-3, which is you work 6 days and you're off 3. The reason I prefer that is because, you guys know I have to drive 3.5 hours to get to Shelby and 3.5 hours to get home from Shelby. So needless to say, usually your first day out, I'm not going to work a full 14. All the days in between, it's kind of hard to work a full 14. Not that you can't work, it's just that, you know, it's the whole trip planning thing. You're a truck driver, you don't want to catch a DOT violation. So if by some chance every single day in the middle I just knew that there was going to be a spot for me to park and not catch a violation, I would work a 14-hour shift. But realistically speaking, you're not going to do that because you need to leave room for you to find a spot to park. So I usually have about anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours left over every day in the middle. And then on my go home days, I run as hard as I can. But typically what will end up happening is I'll have 2 or 3 hours left over. And if I get back to Shelby and they're just like, hey, look, we're on wait time, or we just don't have any loads that you can turn around in 2 to 3 hours, then, they're just like, we'll cut you loose, you go home. And, that's fine and all. But I usually end up with about 8 or 9 hours left over on my 70. And the reason I put in for the 6.3 is because I feel like especially in the Walmart drivers watching this, you're going to know if you're working 6 days, you should be able to run your 70 out down to like 30 minutes, an hour left on your 70. Me personally, I see that as a win. I've had people actually say they don't necessarily agree with trying to get on the 6.3 program because they're just like, you'll have some high paychecks, you'll have some lower paychecks, you'll have this, you'll have that. Like, there's so many negative reasons that people say, like, well, I don't think you should be on a 6.3. Me personally, Walmart pays you for everything you do. That's a great thing about the company. So when I look at my 70 and I see time left over, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours left over on my 70 at the end of a week, I see that as 10 hours of potential earnings that I'm not going to make. Whether it be miles, activity, it's going to be a mixture of miles and activity. I see that as 10 hours worth of revenue that I'm just leaving on the table. So if I can get on a 6.3 program, I should be able to run my clock out completely, my 70-hour clock that is, run that out completely by the end of my 6th day at work. I'd feel better knowing that, hey, when I turn my truck in and I, go off duty and, go for my reset at home, and I look at my 70-hour clock and I have like an hour and a half left on my 70, I can sit and be like, you know what? I did pretty fucking good for those days that I'm at work. People are just like, yeah, you're going to have some high paychecks, you're going to have some low paychecks. It depends on how that rotation works. My thought, like I was saying a second ago, Walmart pays you for everything. So you're going to have some high paychecks, you're going to have some lower paychecks, which aren't even low. But at the end of the day, you're getting paid for all of it. So maybe you guys agree with me, I don't know. My thought process is, if I'm making, using all of my time as effectively as I can, at the end of the year, I'll see that, I made 95,000, 100,000 that year. I'm looking at the bigger picture. Some people looking at paycheck to paycheck. I'm looking at, one way or another, Walmart's paying me for everything that I'm doing. So I'll work the extra day, it doesn't bother me. And I'll reap the rewards. That comes down to money management. If you're sitting here saying, if you're having a high paycheck, you're gonna have some high ones, and then like 2 or 3 low ones, then you're gonna have some more really high ones. You should be leveling out in the middle somewhere. You can figure out how many days you're gonna work in that pay period. Like, there's a way you can go on your phone and look at the calendar thing and like set it up to where it'll show the days you're gonna work and the days you're gonna be off. And basically you can kind of guesstimate what are gonna be your low weeks. But in and of itself, you're not getting paid a low amount. So even a low paycheck is still pretty fucking good. I don't know. I feel like the pros outweigh the cons on the 6.3 program. Yeah, I don't know. That's just my take on it. The way we do our stuff is you kind of like put in numerical order what you want, from 1 being what you most desire to whatever numbers at the bottom is what you least desire, and everything in between. So yeah, my number 1 desire is 6.3. I also put in to have an out day as an extra board driver on one of the out days where you can actually have 1 day off during the weekends or something. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks working all year weekends because it's a weekend. The rest of the world, the rest of the normal world is off on the weekend, so it would be nice to be able to come home and at least have like one day off during the weekend. So I'll put in 4 days that will allow me to have that. And if I don't get any of those, I don't really care what day out I'm on. It's just like, whatever. If they call me and be like, hey, so you didn't get any of what you want, here's what's left over, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, but that's where I'm at. Whenever the new schedules drop, I'll let you guys know. But as far as work goes and whatnot, everything's fine. No real complaints. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm cool. I'm fine. So yeah, as always, like you guys have been doing, dropping comments, asking questions, I appreciate it. As always, if you have any more questions, comments, concerns, gripes, drop them in the comment section. Say comment, subscribe to the channel, shoot me emails if you guys have any more questions about anything. Yeah, that's that. Life is fine. I'm here. I am working on some other content and whatnot that I am going to drop, so I haven't abandoned you guys at all. I've just been working on other stuff, just living life, just working really hard. Got some goals that I want to meet by the end of the year or beginning of next year. So I've just been at work, hard charging, buckling down, just really getting to it, trying to stick it to the man and do what I can. But the way them taxes work out, shit, taxes fucking suck because they take so much of your money. Anyway, but yeah, just working on some goals and whatnot. That's that. But I'll catch you guys next time. Ask some questions, leave comments, and I'll have some content for you guys coming up soon. All right, take care.